I don't know shit.
I don't know.
I don't know shit.
Call it. Go ask Preacher Man.
I don't know shit.
He says he knows.
Yeah, I don't know shit.
Go ask Mr. Politician.
I don't know shit.
He says he knows. But me?
Yeah, I don't know shit.
Cole here, new revolutionary. I'm a little stoned, FYI. That's why my eyes are a little bit more. I can't hide it for shit. So if I'm gonna be intimate and honest here on this vlog, I gotta, keep it honest. I meant to come talk to you about an hour, 2 hours ago, and I was crispy and I had it, and then helped Snugs Babe put the studio together for she came up with a song called Stronger. Sounded dope. Wanted to support, help the cause there. And then I got stoned and we talked and philosophical chats. And now I'm stoned and coming to you live a little bit later. Now, why did I feel the need to say that? I don't know. I think it's what our topic is about. Negative programming, right? I could have just come in here and go right into what I want to talk about, positive energy. And that's why I try to keep it usually like that, right? But then you start thinking a little negative, and then you start thinking a little self-conscious, and you're like, oh, but maybe It comes from negative programming, all the way down to our daily tasks. We all have both positive and negative programming, right? I believe we're all born little baby Buddhas, born perfect. We're just like love and stuff. And also I poop, and it hurts I'm scared when I poop. You know, we're just babies. We're just little Buddha babies, pretty pure and clean. And then life scars us up a little bit from the negative programming, and so now we're like an adult or a human, and we have both happy, joyful baby Buddha energy, and we also have this energy or behaviors or reactions that comes from a negative programming place, right? And I think that is a pollution or cancer of the heart, mind, and soul that needs to be healed, and naturally, and through things like therapy, counseling, biofeedback, neurofeedback, acupuncture, meditation, exercise, clean, good eating, removal of drugs, maybe for some people taking the right pharmaceuticals, psychiatry, craniosacral therapy, yoga, church, religion that's healthy, community, friendships, jobs, you know, all these things that help us heal and have clear mind, to help erase and or improve our ability to manage our minds to have less negative programming. Because there's so much junk that we get in there from over life, you know, past dramas or conflicts, or watching the news, or that negative thing happened, or PTSD from a traumatic event, a car accident. It could be physical things, you know, things that are outside of your control, and just, whoa, like being a human and alive is like crazy nuts, right? And then all the way up to things that we consciously put into ourselves, which we should consciously not put into ourselves. Don't put negative programming into yourself. You're just gonna make yourself negative. But we as a society love doing it. That's why we watch reality television with all the fights and the schisms and the betrayals. It's like we like it. It's like candy. It's like it just gets into you, and you're like, ooh, I love that negative. And it's like, what the gross? To me, gross. Like, let's show a way forward that's nicer and pleasant and not that, you know. But people love that shit. People love that shit and eat it up. So we probably in our own relationships do it. And all the women on Real Housewives gossip. So then people on the ground gossip, and everybody gossips, and they're like, yeah, fuck that bitch, and fuck that bitch, and da-da-da-da-da. And people love bitching. They love it. They love it. They just love, oh, I love watching bitching. I love doing bitching. I love just bitching. And it's men and women. This is not a gender thing, I'm saying. This is a human behavior that we all are capable of doing when we are operating from negative programming. We just, you know, we do shit. This is like, let's like, let it go, chill, you know? And it all the way up to like forms of entertainment, like reality television, music, horror movies, the negative news, opinion news, is not true news, propaganda. We just like watching shit that we like watching, and the negativity has spread, and it's gone from movies, video games, violent video games, and you wonder why there's a lot of violence in the streets. If you're spending tons of hours doing violence in a video game, then it's gonna cross over to doing violence in real life. I don't think we can disconnect it. Gotta be honest. Like, if you're allowing people to express their violent nature, they're gonna want to be violent, in whether the metaverse or the real verse. And in the real verse, it has real life consequences. So there's real life consequences of this negative energy. That's why you're not allowed to incite riots. That's why you can't yell fire in a crowded movie theater, because if everybody stampedes and someone dies, you caused it. That's you inciting violence. You're not allowed to incite violence. Like, that's the line of free speech. You have free speech up until you incite violence, and now you do not have the right for that. So for these people arguing about free speech, I'm allowed to say that I want to kill you because you don't agree with me politically. Not, bud, you're wrong. You're not allowed to say that. That's against incitement of violence. It's an illegal thing to do. You can't be posting online, let's go get this guy, or go do this, or politically, let me take my opponent out, or I'm going to hunt him with a gun, or you're not allowed to do that. That's incitement of violence. You can't do that legally. So we now have a former president of the United States, President Trump, going on tours, telling people in his speeches, this is the FBI agent, this is who came after me for this, or well, let's go get them with this, or angry, or they're enemies of the state, and we got to go get them, and all these. He's inciting violence while he's under investigation for inciting violence. Like why you wouldn't let a serial killer stay out there serial killing? You wouldn't let a knifer, a guy stab somebody. Yeah, you got to put him in prison because they stab people. He's inciting violence. His own followers are dying in the streets. People are taking a gun and going into the FBI headquarters in a city because of things he said. Mathematical, provable things, provable deaths and injuries and harm from his words. His words are beyond free speech. His words are inciting violence, and it needs to stop. It's not healthy. It's not kind. It's cruel. It's mean. It's manipulative. It's unhealthy. You guys have leader abuse. This guy is abusing you as a leader. Like, you can't listen to this stuff. It's negative programming. And so now it's got spilled over from video games and movies violence and music violence into politics, the biggest game in town. It's now our politics is negative, and we have negative programming in our politics. And so we're very vicious to each other on Facebook, and we're very vicious to each other on social media and in person, and in arguments and politics and flag waving and civil war. And this is exactly what even foreign powers are trying to do to us. There was active disinformation in 2016 by Russia to encourage us to divide. Disinformation to divide. It was on purpose. And this guy did this too. It's divide us on purpose. He's the first president to not at least give some lip service to, like, we're all one country. Even Obama, we're all one country. George W. Bush, we're all one country. Bill Clinton, we're all one country. It doesn't matter your party. Ronald Reagan, we're all one country. Lincoln, we're all one country. George W. Bush, we're all one country. That's what you say as president. We're one country. One country, united. And he's the first president to say, we're two countries. Well, it happened before, the Civil War, and that was ugly, and we already went over this. And the Nazi shit in Germany, we already went over that too. That's not allowed. There's limits to political speech. You can't do political speech all the way up until the point that you kill your brother in the name of politics, and you're not allowed to go around slandering tribes of people in the name of your political goals. You're just not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do that. It's unhealthy. It's extremely unhealthy, to put it lightly. Psychopathic, dark, negative. There's a lot of words to use for it. So we've got to stop the negative programming and stop allowing the negative programming. To pick another cultural topic of negative programming, drill music, the kind of shoot 'em up rap music, which sounds great, and I love music, and it bangs, and I got a lot of artists that I'm fans of, and I love rap music, obviously. I'm on my 18th album as a music artist, and Jay-Z is my favorite artist of all time. Rap, I think hip-hop is the most beautiful art form of all time. It's gone from being an idea to, in the streets of New York, to a global phenomenon that is pop music, and it's the biggest music medium on pop radio, I think, now, and it's cultural, and there's billionaires from it, and it's influencing generations of people to pursue growth and beautiful things, and just love and truth, and speak truth to power, and overcoming struggle, and so many beautiful things. And in the beginning, people tried to demonize hip-hop, saying, you can't say that because that's harmful, and rap music is harmful. And in that free speech debate, I agreed with hip hop because it's art. And if someone's, comes from an environment like the hood that has a lot of violence, and you see that, it's the negative programming. You didn't choose that, negative programming, but you turned it into art. You didn't express it. You didn't you act on the negative programming. You turned manure into crops and did beautiful music about it. So I think you can never demonize that, and that's freedom of speech. You got to have expression. So I'm not saying the drill music should stop. I'm saying you have the right to say what you want. But this trend of shoot 'em up music where you're talking about killing your other teams, it's almost like a video game. Like you guys are like video game players. Like you each got your different gangs and your different names, and you shoot your ops, and everybody talks. And then in the records, you talk about the ops you shot, and they compete with how many ops they shot, and you compete with how many ops you shot. Dude, that's a bad game for all of you. That's a terrible game. Like, play tag or something. Like, that's a bad game. Like, you don't want to play that video game in real life, dude. You don't. You're all shooting each other and ending beautiful lives with beautiful careers and a lot of money and a lot of success and health for your friends and family, and you're all from just continuing on. Like, you're making music. You're changing the world. Use your music for good and life. Don't make music about death. Don't make music about shooting up your ops. Work out your differences. Mediate. If you need to, hate each other and go your separate ways, but don't play the game of shoot your ops in real life. Play it on video games, because that shit's not healthy. And that's what people say. Oh, that's why you have to have that culture, because that's an outlet for them to get it out instead of it. And I agree with that too. You use the healthy outlets, art, medium, whatever, but then that's how it gets back in, and then it cycles. And so I don't know which the chicken or the egg here. Is it that we are by nature a certain way, and we humans are partially negative, and therefore our media is partially negative, or is our media negative so we're negative? I mean, it's we got light and dark in all of us. Every one of us has light and dark in us, and I think we need to support and feed the light wolf, not the dark wolf, because the dark wolf and the negative programming that's in our media and in our own minds is killing us, literally killing us. It hurts, and it's way better to be sunny. It's way better to be positive and move the fuck on with life and get it done. Love you all.
I don't know shit. Right now 76, thinking. I don't know shit. Yeah, I don't know shit.